though, before we wrap this one up. The heckler gave us the word, and yeah, Luther Vandross has come to from his coma from 6 weeks ago, Ronnie. He suffered a stroke on April 16th.
I honestly thought it was longer than 6 weeks.
And he has awakened from his coma.
He sat straight up in his bed like the Undertaker.
They said he can mouth words and nod his head. He can't try to speak yet because they still have the breathing tube in his throat.
So he knows he's Luther Vandross. He knows where he is.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. And he's begun mild physical therapy. Luther's mother, Mary Vandross, said, Luther is going to be just fine. This is God's way of saying, you're tired. And you needed a 6-week nap.
Why couldn't God just say you're tired? Why actually put the man with a tube down his throat?
With your money, Luther, why couldn't God just send you to the islands for 6 weeks?
Yeah, if anybody could take 6 weeks off, it's Luther.
He could afford it. His new album comes out next Tuesday.
It's called I'm in a Coma, baby. 866-277-4969. Here's Andrea. Andrea, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Ron and Fez.
What can we do for you, sweetheart?
I wanted to talk about the topic earlier about the United States being such a great country and being blessed. I really don't see us that way. I see us more as a dysfunctional family. We're out throwing our money around, making everyone think we're so great, powerful. In a lot of ways we are. But we still have deep poverty here. We still have, racial strife here. We still have a lot of issues that go on in this country. Why can't we clean up our own home first? Maybe the rest of the world wouldn't think of us being such bad guys.
Do you think we're at least trying to do the right things? Motive-wise?
I think we are trying to do the right thing, but it's real difficult for anybody. Like if someone came to your house and told you, Fez, I think you need to live this way, and I think you need to do this and that and the other in your life, but they are not doing the same thing, you'd be like, who are you to tell me how to live and what to do?
I'd probably appreciate some direction.
All right, thank you very much, Andrea. I'm actually surprised that only you and Mikey were the ones who felt that we were somehow actually blessed by God and carrying God's thing here. You two guys are probably lean a little more Republican.
Right.
I know you do, Fez, and I know you do. And it's kind of the oddest thing is that when you have the rest of the world so upset with us right now and so thinking that we are the bad guys, and you guys give the version of, it's because we've done so much good around the world that God blesses us. And I don't think that it's...
No, I think it's the other way around with me. I think God has blessed us, and I know the way we've heard it in church is you're supposed to use your time and your talents and your treasures to do good for other people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of the world, even the way that this country was settled that we talked about earlier, most of the world sees that as somewhat barbaric. Yeah,
we took the treasures.
Yeah, well, we took the treasures, and we had slaves, and all this kind of stuff, and yet still there's something really odd about that connection of that this is God's country. And the other weird thing is that for you two guys to say that, too, is that that's the kind of statement that comes out of the terrorists. The terrorists see themselves, and that's always the people who feel like our side is right. That there's no sense in sitting down, really wondering and working. Like Bush never was in any hurry to really figure out, hey, what's really going on? We're fighting evil. We're good. He's evil. The terrorists are really saying, we're good. They're evil. And it's the rest of us that aren't caught up in that black and white thinking.
See, but with the terrorists, what they're doing is they're taking, the Allah and the Book of Islam. Is that it?
I have no idea where you're going with it.
Well, they're turning it around and saying that it's good to kill. That if they die and if they kill somebody,
they feel like they're defending their cause. I'm not going to get into a thing of Christianity or Islamic faith. I'm not going to faith and do that. Right. What I'm trying to say is just that you think that you have that certain connection, and it's obviously nothing that you can prove, but if that is your belief, it's pretty hard to shake that from people. And I kind of feel like the people who have that belief, instead of I'm open to discussing it, or I'm open into looking to ways to be better, that you guys just believe, even though that we're getting stuff back that we don't like what you guys are doing. You still think, hey, everybody should like us right now. We've done a lot of good things.
I'm not thinking that everything this country has done has been, God-oriented or at least even good. But I think, and this doesn't count for much, but intentions are there. In fact, this is something I never even thought of before until you brought it up. And I didn't even know I was thinking this way. But I think this country sees itself as being blessed and really trying to sincerely do good in the world. It's a lot of mistakes along the way.
I think it's
I think the intentions are there.
I think it's being over superior. Like if anybody went, hey, I'm the blessed one, so I'll come over and show you guys how to set up, and we'll set up this for you and do this. And it's one of the things that gets us into trouble. Here is Lance. Lance, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, that was talking about the Day of Atonement, I guess, for the Indians that we were going to have.
Yeah, that's
Wonder
Boy's stupid thing.
We have Memorial Day that we're supposed to remember our fallen soldiers, but 80% of the Americans just go out to the beach this first day of summer. Nobody even pays attention to it.
It's it's very, very hard to, and I don't care what the holiday is, for most Americans, and I'll include myself, to really put aside that Easter is very quick in the morning for me and maybe dinner. Thanksgiving is more about football than really thinking about the country so much.
On Memorial Day when I was a kid, it would be a day off, and I would have to get up early and go to the cemetery with my father and put a flag on my grandfather's grave. And we did that every year.
Memorial Day, probably for his generation, was almost celebrated all day at the cemetery. That's where they would actually picnic out there.
Yeah, that's where the service was.
Yeah, and there would always be some kind of band playing or something like that. But that's all been dropped down. Here's Brett. Brett, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, how you guys?
Hey, Brett.
Yeah, I just, this subject is kind of very near to me. I grew up in church. My dad was an evangelist, stuff like that. But I've developed a lot of my own opinions over the years, and I think this country is truly blessed by God. I think that, for the most part, the people here have the good of the whole over the good of the individual. There are a lot of people that aren't that way, and most of them are the ones that rise in power.
One of the things different about us is that we really did celebrate the individual in this country instead of the whole. Just the exact opposite of what you're saying.
Well, that I don't know if that's true or not. I know that
that
for
is
me,
kind of what our whole point is, that individual matters.
We try to do the best that we can for other people. Not just celebrating ourselves. I in particular do not celebrate myself in any way that I can think of. But I try to.
All right, let me put you on hold for 1 second because your phone's so bad, but I'll come back to you. All right, that's a good point, Fezzy. Do we celebrate the individual in this country? I think we do.
I think so.
I think that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it's, that individual person's right to pursue health, happiness, and whatever, liberty.
He ended up hanging up. But, not just that, but the guy could almost be a Superman in this country. That's the point, that any little boy could go out there, or girl, any little boy could go out there and start a company and be Bill Gates. You just have the right idea. You think of the talking chihuahua, you make the lawsuit, and you can make it big.
It's opportunity for the individual.
I don't know whether, there probably was a thing about service at some point in the past, but I think that's long behind us. That you should be in service either to your country or your community or your church. We like free time now, man.
Yeah, that's definitely gone by the wayside.
What is it, Wonder Boy? What did you want to talk about? Indians again?
I think that you're right. I think that we definitely celebrate the individual, and I think that's one of the reasons why that we had the kind of sense of entitlement that our country seems to have, which is why people feel like our country is the best and has this special relationship without any kind of proof. I mean, we just feel like we're number one. Everyone feels like individually, we're so great. That when you make that whole, when you look at our country as a whole nation of individuals thinking they're great, it's no wonder why we're going all over the world spreading the way we think is the best to do everything.
And, even if we were doing really great work, like the way some people think that we do, It would have only been over, what, the last 70 years in the entire history of mankind?
Where we started venturing out from the shores?
Yeah. So for whatever reason, we feel like, hey, you lucky bastards, even though you've been around since man started walking, now you've got us, God's chosen people. Although he didn't choose us until about 70 years ago.
I wonder if that attitude comes from the religions that are in this country and the religions that founded this country, where they are more of an evangelic religion. And we did definitely come in, try to convert the Indians. We've always been a country of conversion like that, bringing religion to people, instead of like, let's say, an Islamic state where that is their religion and that's how they work. And I wonder if it's that evangelistic attitude that takes us out into the world this way, or at least gives us this appearance of we're God's people doing God's work.
I don't know. It's a strange one.
It really is. It's really cool.
Wonder Boy, you'd rather be an Indian, right?
Yeah, definitely. There are people.
You got the Mohawk.
Why don't you go live with them?
Well, because
and one with nature.
Well, I mean, even the natives don't necessarily live at one with nature anymore. I mean, they're still part of our society. It's not like they have, not an Indian reservation isn't like a time capsule where they're still.
A casino is my natural habitat.
Right. I mean, even they've been corrupted by our self-important culture, where they feel like now we should just be grabbing as much as we can. The fact that they're making money on these casinos is corruption? I think the fact that they've taken a noble idea of wanting to make sure they retain part of their land to keep part of their culture on and said, oh, since we can do this huge money-making scheme, now we're going to take this land that had been sacred and preserved for us and now use it to bring in cash out of our fist.
Not all the land was sacred.
No, but what I'm saying is the fact it's
Are
sacred.
they supposed to? Would you like to see them still sitting on it in teepees instead of surviving in this world?
Again, I think that it's a testament to the fact that our culture has corrupted even a more pure culture, where they said we just want to keep part of our stuff so we don't lose our identity. And then what they've done with that land that they set aside to hold their identity was make it as absolutely commercial and Western as possible.
So you don't even like the Indians anymore.
I like them. What I'm saying is I think it's too bad that
like them, you don't like them.
It's too bad that they weren't able to withstand the influences of the culture that spread around them.
I'll say this, no one can withstand the American culture. I don't care where you go.
It's true. I mean, and especially the way it gets forced on everyone around us. President, like I said, I'm not sure if it's necessarily that evangelical attitude, or, like I said, if it's just...
I mean, we've always had missionaries in this country.
It could just be sheer selfishness and self-importance. This is the thing we know. It's got to be better than the thing you know.
See, I'm not saying that attitude is right, where you try to convert Indians. I'm just wondering where the attitude comes from.
But, we don't even just try to convert... Actually, we try to convert few people to our religion anymore. But we do try to convert them to our culture. We do try to lay our movies on them, our fast food on them. We just come flying at them.
And our system of government. I remember having a discussion with my dad who was saying it's going to be so great that we're putting democracy in Afghanistan and in Iraq. And I said it's a terribly hard system of government that the people have to really want to work at. You can't just drop it there and hope that it takes off.
Yeah, it was pretty shaky here most of the time.
Well, the nutty thing is where you say, all right, we want to go into a country like Iraq. We've liberated it. And we're going to give you the choice now. Now you get to form your own government, a government of the people. Well, they don't want that. The government they choose is an Islamic state.
We want to give them freedom.
Like in Iran.
By our definition of freedom. And that's not freeing anyone. It's just imposing your will on a weaker people. The thing that's been happening since the dawn of time.
And that takes us back to Columbus.
You're not stupid, but you are whiny. I'll give you that one.
Sorry.
That if you could get rid of some of the whiny stuff, you do better.
I get a little bit emotionally involved in
I know, but you don't have to pussify this thing. Stand up. Like a brave Native American that you are. What is your ethnic background?
Actually, I'm quite mixed, but I know there's a lot of Native American in it, though.
No, tell me the truth. What's the name?
I know there's some Irish and some Italian, and my name
Catholic?
is Austrian. Yeah. I grew up Catholic, yeah.
But now you're not?
I don't go to church anymore, no. I feel like
no Catholics go to church. I mean, obviously,
that doesn't make you not Catholic.
We got to go Christmas Eve. But if you go into the hospital and they go, "What are you?"
Yeah, Catholic. I would say. Yeah.
You don't sit there and go, "Well, I've been missing a lot of church."
I would just say I'm spiritual.
Oh God, don't be angry.
That is it for the Ron and Fez show tonight. And we will be back tomorrow night to wrap up the week.
Where are we partying tonight, buddy? Where are we drinking shots?
Oh, I don't know if I can take it.
Drinky, Drinkerton from Drinkville.
Take me back to Drinkville. And waste another night.
You don't want to go back to El Fire Trap?
No, I don't want to go back to the cinder box.
You know, I actually had a dream last night that I picked up the paper and it had burned down. And I'm like, oh my God, I was just there. I wonder if everyone I know got out.
That place could have been called the Oily Rag.
It looked like Goodfellas. It looked like exactly the place that they torched in Goodfellas.
We're going to be back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, right after Don and Mike on 106.7 WJFK.